Good afternoon, Senator Duff.
Good afternoon, Madam President. Madam President, for a point of personal privilege.
Yes, please proceed, because it's a beautiful day on I-95 in Norwalk and point south.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. While I'm here with my colleagues from the Norwalk delegation, we have Representative Dominique Johnson, Representative Travis Sims, Representative Tracy Marr, Representative Lucy Dathan, Representative Kadeem Roberts, and we thought this would be a great opportunity to say thank you to our DOT workers who worked so hard over the weekend. Madam President, many folks are aware, obviously, of the accident that happened last Thursday morning, where I-95 was closed in both directions, and it was a traffic nightmare for those of us who live in Norwalk. And it was not only an inconvenience for people trying to get through the area, but it was really very, very difficult for the people of the city of Norwalk. And it was nobody who would imagine that a petroleum truck with 8,000 gallons of petroleum would catch fire under a new bridge, a 10-year-old bridge, and then completely destroy it. And that's exactly what happened. Thankfully, nobody was injured or killed, so we have that to be thankful for. But nonetheless, it was a huge fire and a huge problem, where you have over 120,000 cars per day traveling in that area. So you can imagine all that on local roads. Thankfully, through the leadership of the Lamont administration, with our DOT commissioner and our workers, they mobilized right away. And they said, look, we're going to work hard. We know this bridge, after evaluation, this bridge is going to have to come down, and we're going to work as quickly as possible to do that in the safest manner possible. And so our DOT workers and contractors were able to then get to work, mobilize right away, and be able to take that bridge down. And so, Madam President, I was able to go down on site on Saturday at about 12:30 and watch everybody really pulling together, working to get that bridge down. And if you couldn't make it down to the site, thanks to our commissioner, Garrett Eucalito, people could watch on the webcam to watch the progress being made minute by minute by minute. I know there's a lot of people around the circle here. There were people all over Connecticut. And there were people, Norwalk especially, were just glued to their monitors watching the progress being made bit by bit by bit, and being very impressed at how quickly that was being done. So, Madam President, when we just the other day had the opportunity to vote on a contract for our state employees. And I had mentioned in my remarks about when we're voting on these contracts, and a lot of times we don't really think tangibly about the people who work for the state of Connecticut. I mentioned DMV, I mentioned DOT, I mentioned snowplow drivers, DCF and others, and that we have this opportunity to vote on that, and that our employees these are the faces of our employees who are behind me. These are the ones who actually got this highway opened a day ahead of schedule. When it was announced by the governor that northbound I-95 was open at 8 p.m. on Saturday, you could hear the roar from the people of Norwalk, and I'm sure the DOT workers as well, that they were so happy that they were able to help get that done. And then by Sunday morning, a whole day ahead of schedule again, because it was estimated that it wouldn't open again until Monday morning for the rush hour. And that was a hope. That wasn't a promise, it was a hope. And they were able to do that. So watching the webcam, I know on Sunday, I was like, they're going to get this thing open right away. I know it. And they did. And so traffic went back to normal again, and the flow was there. And so I know that we were at a press conference this morning thanking our first responders, thanking our DOT workers. There's, as the commissioner said, nobody likes to hear the roar of traffic on I-95, but today was a day we were welcoming the roar of traffic on I-95 for sure. So, Madam President, I just wanted to take this opportunity, I know along with the rest of the delegation, to say thank you, to say thanks for a job well done, thanks for pulling together. This cannot be done without state workers, without city workers, without our first responders, without the governor, without the mayor, without everybody working together for the benefit of the people we serve. And so that's why I thought it was so important to ask them to come up here today to just provide a thank you, to provide some praise for the work that they do, and put faces on our state employees and thank them for the hard work that they do. So if I can just take a moment, and I hope I have everybody's name who is here today, but I want to first thank our commissioner, Garrett Euclito. Where are you, Garrett? Thank you. We have our Deputy Commissioner, Alicia King. Thank you, Alicia. From Norwalk, I might add, but she does come from New Haven. She has a little New Haven roots in her. We have Scott Hill, the Chief Engineer. John Dunham, the Construction Administrator. Bart Sweeney, Division Chief of Bridges. Division Chief, thank you. Dominic LaRosa, District Engineer, District 3. John Antonucci, who is an Assistant District Engineer, District 3. Mike Rosenblatt, Construction Engineer, District 3. Harold Spina, is that right? Yep. Harold Spina, Construction Engineer, District 3. Paul Rizzo, Chief of Highway Operations. Paul. Another Norwalk resident I know, Don Remsen, Maintenance Director of District 3. John Slavin, Maintenance Manager, District 3. Frank Tardamella, who is the Maintenance Supervisor, District 3. Hal Decker, Principal Engineer, Highway Operations Center. Aidan Neely, Planner, Highway Operations Center. And Josh Morgan, the Communications Director. I saw Josh, thank you. Could not do it without that. So, and again, I have to say thank you for putting up that webcam. As I said this morning, and I've said before, it was literally like people watching the Truman Show because we were watching to see how things were going. Did I miss anybody? And if I did, feel free to introduce yourselves. Tim Fallon. Yep, Jim Fallon. Anybody else? Chief Engineer? Assistant. Anybody else? Did I get everybody? Okay. All right. And again, thank you again to everybody. I know that our chair of our Transportation Committee, Senator Cohen, is here as well as our Senate President, and many of our senators are here to say thank you as well. And if anybody wanted to make a comment, I'd be happy to